Glenn Parker High Vibration Foundation. Thank you for watching. There was something that I was getting ready for bed, and just something was bugging me, something wanted to come through, and it was the idea of the human race as one race. And this idea that there are imaginary lines drawn on the earth, or, it's a giant globe and all these little lines drawn through the earth, and sometimes there's physical borders that go along with those, and a lot of times they are just imaginary lines, and there's really no differentiation. Sometimes there's a language barrier between those particular lines, so you can consider that to be differentiation of some sort. And this was kind of spurred by several things, but there was one. I had somebody watch my near-death experience video, and they were saying, it's very interesting that I'm studying French near-death experiences, and they're very similar, if not in any way dissimilar, to American ones. And, we furthered the conversation by we're all human beings. It is, it all is one race. There isn't any differentiation. You have that in your mind as that we're separate, that we're not separate. But we're not separate. It is all one human race. Pardon that. It's just differentiated all by these ideas, and some of those ideas are imaginary lines. Some of them are more tangible in that they are language. Sometimes it's written language, or sometimes it's verbal. But if you were to walk down the street and you were to find a baby, an infant, and I like this analogy because this works really well, and you know for a fact that that baby was a particular nationality, maybe one that you took exception to your nationality, a rivalry, or some kind of, there's been a war for centuries or whatever, would you leave that baby there to be on its own, or would you go ahead and rescue the baby? More than 9 times out of 10 people are going to say, I'm going to rescue the baby. It's because, there isn't at our core any differentiation. And I just wanted to share that idea. I think the idea of more neutrality toward that it is one race, the more that we can have that idea as one race, that we will move forward much faster at a more progressive rate. That the idea is that, let's say you're an atheist and that let's say you don't believe in God. Let's take that out of the equation altogether. But you are kind of scientific, that you do believe that, the universe was made in pretty much the way we think it was made, that, it was all the Big Bang, and then gases, and then compressed down into stars, and then bang again, and over until these gases coalesced into planets, and then down into life, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, that was all one thing at one point in time. The Big Bang, little micro tiny thing, all this compressed matter, boom, into existence within a time frame that's, within 1 second, crazy things happened, and there was a universe. Whoa, cool. So, maybe God farted, sorry. So let's say this idea that you don't believe in God, but everything is still in quantum science, and in the idea that if you take something in, let's say, a particle, and you split it in half, and you take one to the other side of the universe, and you leave one here. And you leave one here, and you apply an electrical charge to this one, or the one on the other side of the universe flips on its side, the same side that this one is flipping on, because they are entangled. They are still touching at a scale, what's called the Planck scale, which is this fabric of the universe, right before you get to electromagnetic energy, way down, that shows that everything is connected. So whether you believe in God, Yahweh, higher power, organic connection between all living things, even if you're an atheist, you have to have some sense that everything is connected. So even in that sense, the human race is connected. We're all one race. We came from Mother Earth. We were developed on the Earth, and we've progressed through all these things together. And we're learning not to harm each other. A lot of things that you see on the news, or you read in the newspaper, are very one-sided. There's a lot of other beautiful things going on in the world. When the tsunami happened, within an hour there was, a cry around the world for help. And between the hour and 2 hours, there was postings on YouTube and whatnot, for things that had happened, people who had captured their cell phones and stuff like that. And I think on the 3rd hour, there was an international worldwide cry to, hey, we need help. And on the 4th, there was people already getting on boats and massive amounts of tools and utilities and foods and all these other things being sent. And let that be an example of, coming together in a time of really high critical crisis, a very high press type of crisis. I think that's a prime example of what could happen as a whole if we started seeing each other as one. You walk down the street and hear another language, that's still a human being. They're still conveying ideas of love and history and family and all these things. They're just doing it maybe in a slightly different fashion. Maybe they look a little different, they dress a little different, they eat different things, whatever. It is what it is. It would be boring if it was just car and food and, entertainment, like this one little thing, here's the play, and that's all there is, play. And we all see the same one thing. We get rather boring rather quickly. So immerse yourself in this diversity. It is a wonderful thing. And I think once you start seeing the other person as not being separate than yourself, it's a lot easier to be kinder to them and to see them as not even extended family, as family, because they are the human race. When you look down into a genetic level, into a DNA level, it takes some real drilling down to differentiate DNA from one person to another on an ethnic level. Like if you're Hawaiian and somebody else is Lithuanian or French or what have you, there's skin color. All this is very it's very minute. Obviously, it's in there, but it is it's not evident when you just look at DNA. You have to really drill down into it because there's really not that much in the way of differentiation between one human being and another. They're basically all the same. And I think that's everything that I wanted to share. That's the core idea of it, that there is no differentiation. And if you get into higher-minded ideas, like the idea of the prime radiant, if you haven't ever heard of that, jump on YouTube and type in prime radiant, and you'll find some information where it is only one particle, and it has no laws. As this is an example, and it has no laws, and it can go at infinite speed. And it can represent itself as anything, anyone, a rock, a tree, a house, your laptop, this rose quartz, anything and everything in existence. And it's basically only one thing in existence, experiencing itself as different things. It's a different way for it to experience itself as this one thing. I think that's everything I wanted to share. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment and like, and if you have any questions or if there's something that, like a topic you want covered that you'd like to have an opinion on or a point of view, I'm happy to do that as well. Just send me a message. Thank you very much. Love and light, and have a fantastic day.